about parent alienation. Tell me what parent alienation definition is.
According to WebMD, parental alienation primarily occurs during a high-conflict divorce in which the child identifies strongly with one parent, usually the custodial parent. The other parent is hated and rejected without any justifiable reason, such as abuse.
There you go. Perfect example. I was married to Sidney Crossan. Sidney Crossan went to jail for abusing me. I divorced him. February 24th of 2004 was our final divorce date. After that, and before that, and noted in our divorce decree that he had nothing to do with the kids. His choice. He didn't answer to anything. He didn't even answer to the divorce hearing, okay? The judge looked at me at Skowhegan County Courthouse and asked me if I was crazy because I wanted him to have 50-50 custody. This is all in my documentation, and Cheryl's got it at the courthouse and is willing to give it to me. And I'm going to be picking it up and I'm going to share it with you all, okay? So Sidney Crossan was known to have been abusive. He was convicted after admitting, and I had evidence, okay? He didn't do it just one time. He did it many times. Hence the fact, I left him. I kicked him out. He came back. He was sleeping with my mother and sister unbeknown to me, and that's why he was being hateful to me. And then he didn't come back, and he didn't have anything to do with the children. For I say several because it was a few years, but several months leading into almost 2 years, okay, before we got a divorce. And then it was 4 years after that, nearly 4.5 years after that, we had called, sent gifts, gone over, left messages, mailed him cards, everything on a weekly basis. I made sure, purposely why? That my kids could never say I kept them from their father. And that their fathers could never say that I kept them from them. Okay? And everybody that knows me knows damn well I don't believe in that shit. Because I really don't believe in broken homes. But when it comes to stuff like this, there's no saving it. Not with me. I don't get abused. I don't appreciate being abused. Nobody's going to abuse me. I've had enough of being abused. I was sexually abused, exploited, everything. Not anymore. This carnival girl isn't a carnival girl, okay? I'm a fucking lady, whether you like it or not. You're going to hear from me. So with that being said, we've got what? Parent alienation. Happened when the state of Vermont took my children from me and didn't allow me to see them. And who they ultimately end up with? Sidney Crossan. Because the state of Vermont said that because he abused me didn't mean he was going to abuse my kids, but he did end up abusing my kids. And I know about it. Well, it is what it is. I never abused my kids. I took care of my kids. But everybody hated on me, and still till this day, I'm not allowed any kind of bonding with my children. Which is a real fucking major issue here. Because why? My children have the right to have their mother. I had the right to have a family. So those are all violations of my human rights. When they violated me, constitutional rights came into play. The government and the state and town officials. By lying about me, taking my children, Jeff wasn't going to allow me to see Brianna. Hell fucking no. The state made provisions for me not to be able to see my children. And then Sidney would say, when you want to come home, you can see your kids. He also told me that after he got custody, after the state was done, he was going to put the kids back where they belonged with me. Because he knew the truth. He also apparently told DCF that he would remarry me in a heartbeat if it meant keeping the family together. Because I've got the statement of that. Okay? And that was hated and cringed upon. So he wasn't allowed to have any contact with me. But he did have contact with me. Isn't that right, Sidney? I even went to the extent of getting an apartment down the road. from him so that I could help him. I supplied meals, and the kids stayed with me. Savannah did. It wasn't until the night before I had to leave to go back to Florida one time that Sydney came in the night and got Savannah and told her it was time to leave. Walked right in my house like he owned the place, okay? So if I was that bad of a parent, why did Kiana have me take care of her son from 7 weeks until 6 months while I stayed with her? Now I'm not allowed to see him. But I'm not changed any. Nothing's changed about me. Why is it Savannah calls me every now and then or messages me? When she had my phone number, she would call me. And everything would be fine. Unless she got tormented by her father, Akina, because she doesn't want anybody to know that she loves her mother. I've still got my messages on my phone from my daughter. She's the one that spit in my face. I'll never delete the messages of her telling me I love you, Mom. Those words mean a lot. But she grew up without this mom. And I know that it hurts her as much as it hurts me because it comes out in anger. And that's what it does to our children. Now, repeat of history, they're doing it with Brianna and Jacoby. Kiana learned her shit from the state. She's friends with them. She conspired a story that generated into the removal of Brianna and her son being together. That happened 2 days after she gave birth. It wasn't just Kiana. It was all of them involved. And then it just happened again last year, over this past summer. That is breaking a bond. Intentionally, retaliatively, with no reason. All full of criminology. So why are they getting away with it? One hand washing the other. It's color of law. That's what it's called. It's also a violation of law, as well as violation of rights. Many rights. So knowing that they overdosed my daughter, they drugged her with the wrong medications, and then she was missing, and now she's back, and she's going to tell her story. I'm not telling it for her. I'm going to tell you what I know, though, about her story. That's the difference, because it happened to me. I was involved in it, not willingly and not willfully. I was drugged into some bullshit. Not because she wanted me to be, but I was there for her protection because she wanted me to be. She didn't ask to be abused. She got abused. I got abused. And the judge already told you that. Just like he told me. That's why he put a 1-year restraining order in my behalf. Because, see, an informant can't go and lie on the stand. But I would have been sitting in jail. That's what they were hoping for. He kept on saying I was going to jail. Oh, I can't wait until you're going to jail. Now you're home. You're going to jail. He thought I was going to be sitting in jail on his false reports. And that none of this would be heard today. It didn't work out that way. I roll with Jesus. And God is my witness. I didn't do what I was convicted of. I wasn't convicted of it. I was charged with it. He's already been pre-trial through a restraining order and found to be guilty of writing false reports in the Vermont State Police as well as Essex County Sheriff's Department, and all of them involved have already been found to be guilty through that civil report in hearing that was conducted by the judge in Essex County Court against the same people involved. Okay? So knowing that the judge has found it to be false reports and false statements, don't you think it's about time that they start lifting these charges and reversing them? If it's happened to me, I'm sure it's happened to you. I'll give you the name of the courthouse. Guildhall, Essex County Courthouse, Guildhall, Vermont. Let's find out why I, Kimberly Crossan Howes, was charged in Island Pond, Vermont. Why was there a search warrant that cost these taxpayers all this money? What was that search warrant for, and why was it conducted? What did they take? They didn't do anything. They did nothing but waste your tax dollars with the intent to arrest me on false charges. It would have cost a whole lot more tax dollars if they would have arrested me. I have disabilities. I have a pacemaker. If I would have ended up in jail under false reports and statements, gladly accepted by the Vermont State Police, and I spent any time in jail knowing that my pacemaker is a medical device, do you see all this? You understand why I'm angry and filing lawsuits now? Do you understand why the lawsuits come about? And do you also understand why they keep getting denied? It's not because I'm a liar. It's because the government and the state are hiding their own fucking bullshit lies. The shit that they conspired against me and Brianna.